In the previous two videos, we've looked at what is a mole, then how to identify grams and pieces and liters in a mole. So now we're going to learn how to convert from one thing to another. I need to pull out an example here, a little mole map thing here for you. So let's do this. Let's go to this. Get to where we can see it. All right, what we're going to try and figure out is how to get from grams to moles, or moles to grams, or moles to liters, or liters to moles, or moles to molecules, or molecules to moles, or atoms to liters, or atoms to grams. And this little mole map kind of tells you what to use as you go from unit to unit. You remember the three definitions are all shown here, and the number of pieces is this number, the volume is this number if only applies to gases, and the formula mass is what you get when you add up those weights. All right, so we'll put that aside for a minute. We'll maybe take a look at this first problem. So the mass of 2 moles of propane, so in this case you're given 2 moles and you want to find mass. Of course, mass is measured in grams, so you're going from here to here, which tells you that you're going to use the formula mass definition. So this is available on the website. It's hard to navigate back to it all the time, so you might want to have this out to refer to as we work through a couple problems here. Okay, so in this particular problem, we're going to start with our 2 moles. So 2 moles. And it's C3H8. All right, the way we're going to convert is to multiply by 1, which sounds kind of crazy, but there's lots of ways to write 1. So I could write 1, or I could write 5 over 5, or I could write 12 over 12, or I could write x over x. Anything divided by itself is 1. So I could write 12 over 1. Oh wait, that's not 1 unless I do this. If I said 12 inches in 1 foot, that's the same thing as 1 because 12 inches is the same thing as 1 foot. Or I could say 36 over 1, and that's not 1 unless I say 36 inches is 1 yard. So bottom line is lots of ways to write 1. We're going to write 1 with moles and grams. So the way we're going to handle these conversions is to put this number here, moles, or take the unit here. And by the way, this is called a unit, this is called a number. So the unit from here always, what did I just say? Always goes down here. So you have moles of C3H8 on the bottom. And on the top, you put what you're looking for. So what you're looking for was mass. See right there, mass. So we put grams of C3H8. So in these conversions, to make it simpler for right now, 1 always will go with moles. And to find the number of grams in a mole, we have to add up the weights. So we were doing that earlier. You'll remember that on the periodic table. Let's just open up another periodic table. You remember carbon has a mass of 12 and hydrogen has a mass of 1 over here. So 12 times 3 equals 36. 1 times 8 equals 8. Add them together and you get 44. So there'd be 44 grams in 1 mole. To do the math, you'd multiply the 2 times 44 and then divide by what's on the bottom. This kind of goes back to elementary school when you learned about multiplying fractions. You multiply everything across the top, you multiply everything across the bottom, and divide the top by the bottom. Since there's nothing on the bottom here, it's an imaginary 1 there. Okay, so 2 times 44 is 88. Then you would click on the 88, boom, and then you find out that you got that question correct. Okay, now we're going to go to a couple questions down. Let's do this one. So how many moles of water molecules are present in a 27 gram sample? So this is number 4. number 4 spot. Okay, so we have 27 grams of water. What do we say goes on the bottom? Whatever unit is here always goes down here. So the unit is grams of water, so grams of water goes down here. On the top, you write what you're looking for. It tells you up here how many moles. So moles of water goes on top. The number that always goes with moles, 1. And the number of grams in water is 1 times 2, 16 times 1. 1 is the mass of hydrogen from the periodic table. 16 is the mass of oxygen from the periodic table. Remember up here, 16 is oxygen, so 16 times 1. Hydrogen is 1, 1 times 2. So 1 times 2 is 2 plus 16. That gives us a total mass of 18. So 18 grams is 1 mole. Now this is once again over an imaginary 1, so you end up doing the math. You have 27, you have 18. 27 divided by 18 is 1.5. Whoops. So 1.5. And the unit will be moles. The reason it's moles is we put this unit down here because we want it, this unit here goes down here always because we want them to cancel. Right? All right, so now we have only unit we're left with is moles, and that's what goes here. All right, so just to show you another example in something that's more familiar, let's suppose we had 28 days. I'm just making this one up as an example now, and I wanted to know how many weeks that was. Well, you'd use this same style of problem solving. You'd take 28 days, and we're going to multiply by 1, but we want to do it in such a way that days cancel. Just like up here, we wanted to multiply by 1. This is 1 because 1 mole is equal to 18 grams, or the same thing. So I put days on the bottom, and I put weeks on the top because I'm looking for weeks. So we know that 1 week is 7 days. So you have 28 times 1 divided by 7 equals 4 weeks. What that means is that 4 weeks is the same thing as 28 days. It may mean the same thing. It's just a different way to say it. And we found the different way to say it by multiplying by 1. This is equal to that, weeks, 1 week, 7 days. So that's 1. Anything times 1 is the same thing. So we're just changing the number in the units, but it means the same thing. Same thing here. Whoops, not there. Same thing here. We know that this is 1. We multiply by 27, and we can say it's 1.5 moles. 1.5 moles is the same thing as 27 grams. All right, now let's take a look at 2 other kinds of conversions. Oops. I guess show all questions. All right, now we're going to go down to, I didn't put the right answer in. You want to do that real quick? It's 1.5. All right, that was for number 4. Okay, now we're going to go down to about number 9. Here we go. So number 9. Suppose we had 4 moles of hydrogen molecules. These are going to be easy. So it's a little different. 4 moles of hydrogen. Hydrogen's a gas, right? All right, so 4 moles go down here. Before you even look any further at the problem, you know that whatever unit is here goes on the bottom. On the top, we're looking for volume this time, and volume is measured in liters. So you put liters there. Now, 1 always goes in moles. Remember that gas definition is 22.4. So 4 times 22.4, 89.6. Moles cancel, liters. So then you click on 89.6, you get a little smiley face. If you look at number 10, let's see what volume is occupied. Let's go down to number 11. So number 11, you've got 11.2 liters of methane. Okay, liters go on the bottom because we want to cancel out liters. Whatever unit is here goes on the bottom. On the top, you put moles because that's what you're looking for. 1 always goes in moles. It's 22.4 liters. So now you've got 11.2 times 1 divided by 22.4, which is 0.5 moles of CH4. Then you put in 0.5 moles like that. Okay, now let's go down to the next type of problem, which deals with particles. All right, so we'll go to number 15. All right, in 15, you've got 9 times 10 to the 23rd particles. Do you see we're using the third definition of the mole now? 9 times 10 to the 23rd. Particles here would be a molecule because it's hydrogen molecules. It's hydrogen. Hydrogen is a non-metal. It's diatomic, so it has to be occurring as molecules. Okay, what unit goes on the bottom? Molecules. What unit goes on the top? Moles of H2. 1 goes in moles. 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd is the number of molecules in a mole. Remember the definition videos. Now we need to learn how to do the math on this using the EE button on our calculator. So let me show you this. If those of you who have iPhones, EE, this looks like your iPhone. For those of you who have Android phones, you should download a free app called Real Calculator by Quartic, Q-U-A-R-T-I-C software. It's a really nice calculator and has an EXP button, which is a little easier to use than the EE key. It's a little more clear. All right, so here we go. We have 9. See how it says times 10? Do not type in times 10. Say 9 EE 23. Now on your iPhone, it'll only when you hit the EE key, it only highlights it. It doesn't show up like here. It showed up E whatever on your iPhone. It just highlights that square. Then you had to type in the 23, and if you hit equals, you'll get this. So once again, E means times 10. Okay, we're going to multiply that by 1 because there's a 1 here. We really didn't need to do that, but just to show you the proper procedure, because anything times 1 is the same thing. Then we divide by 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd, so 6.02. Do you type in times 10? No. You type in EE 23. And that means 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. Then you hit the equal sign, and you get 1.495, which rounds off to 1.5, and that's the correct answer. So the number of moles here would be 1.5 moles of hydrogen. Okay, 16. Molecules in 10 moles of ammonia. So you'd have 10 moles. What unit goes on the bottom? Moles of go on the bottom because we want to cancel out moles. And on the top, we put molecules because that's what we're looking for. 1 always goes in moles. And 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd is the number of molecules in 1 mole. So now on the calculator, you just do 10 times 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. So you pull your calculator back up, and it's 10 times 6.02. Once again, you use EE 23. And say equals 6.02 times 10 to the 24th. Okay, or we can just round that off to 6 times 10 to the 24th. And the unit, since moles have canceled out, the units are molecules. So the answer would be right here. And we'd say, see if it's right. All right, now we're going to go down to number 18. Once again, we got the pieces definition, but this time we're looking for liters. Okay, to handle that, I need to pull up another piece of paper that I had a minute ago. Where is that little guy? Oh, here he is down at the bottom. Okay, I put him down there. So we have molecules, or in this case atoms, and we want to go to liters. So to do that, we're going to go to moles first, and then go to liters. So how many steps would that be? From here to here is 1. From there to there's 2. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. That's number 18. So we have 1.5 times 10 to the 23rd and that's atoms. What goes on the bottom? Whatever's here goes down here. We're going to put moles on top. And the reason we're putting moles on top, it says we're looking for liters. So you have to realize that since it's a two-step problem, we're going to go from atoms to molecules first, or atoms to moles first. So moles will go on top because that's what we're looking for in step 1. In step 2, we will put liters on top because that's what we're looking for. All right, so step 1 is 1 moles on top, 1 mole. And on the bottom, we know that there's 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd atoms. Step 2, we need to get rid of moles now. See, atoms, we just canceled out atoms. So atoms are gone. Whoops. Got my finger on the wrong button there. Okay, atoms are gone. And we're going to now put moles on the bottom. And on the top, we put what we're looking for as our final answer, which is liters. So 1 goes with moles. 22.4 is the liter definition. So now to do the math, you have 1.5 times 10 to the 23rd times 1 times 22.4 equals, and then you're going to divide by 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. All right, so let's do that. And we'll punch it in the calculator so you can see it. So 1.5 EE23 times 1 times 22.4 equals. Then divide by 6.02 EE23 equals. And our answer then is 5.58, which rounds, I mean, it's a huge number, but it's 5.58 or 5.6 liters. I shouldn't say it's a huge number. It's a lot of digits here. And we've learned earlier in the year that these digits are really not true. There's no way the calculator knows all this detail. But 5.6 is then what we'd round to. So you click over here on 5.6 and you get it right. All right, so that was a two-step problem. If it's a two-step problem, if you're going through these two-steppers, and from number 17 on, they are all two-step problems. You look where you're starting. You'll always start on the outside and try and get somewhere else on the other side. So you might go from here to here, be 2 steps, go to moles first. You might go from here to here, here to grams, be 2 steps, go liters to moles, moles to grams. All right, in order to keep the video from getting super long, I'm going to stop here. And you'll find all these, all the homework for this semester in the handout section or on the website. All right, so hope these videos helped.